is a collective of 55 different artists, all housed under one roof.
You know, it's like a mix of everything.
It is, and I think that's what our customers feel as well. Very different, very bright, very whimsical, very fun.
This is a Too Faced.
Yes.
Look, you see?
Yeah.
Ah.
Does make it feel a little bit like a museum. It's just like a little treasure hunt.
Give me a little bit of the list of the stuff you have here.
Pretty much anything you can think of. We have lots of jewelry, dog treats, a wonderful line of bath products. We have an artist who does crochet work. Really cool, neat little items.
Popeye's looking good.
He is looking good, yeah, look at him. We like to believe that there's something for everyone. If you come in here and you walk around long enough, you will find something. I think it has a lot of Seattle flavor to it. It's not perfect, it's imperfect, like Seattle.
Hell, this lady's crazy. She's trying to run. Oh my God. No kidding! Oh my God!
Tens of thousands of units of infant formula have been recalled after testing found a toxin linked to a foodborne illness. It was made by the A2 Milk Company. Health officials warn preparing the formula with hot water will not remove the toxin. Symptoms include nausea and vomiting and can start within hours. They usually resolve within a day's time. The formula was sold nationwide on the company's website and at select retailers, including Amazon. So far, no illnesses have been reported.
Well, I'm funny, and I also am smart, and I'm pretty nice to people.
A new report says ICE and the private contractor that runs the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma are ignoring evidence of sexual assaults in the facility that houses immigrants. The report from the University of Washington Center for Human Rights is based on new documents released under the Freedom of Information Act. The center says these documents provide insight into complaints of assault and sexual abuse by detained immigrants. Researchers said some internal investigations ignore key evidence. There's been a failure to put preventative measures in place, and administrators do not report sexual assault cases to law enforcement. They said a new contract with GEO, the private contractor that runs the detention center, actually lowers the standards for investigating these complaints. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has previously said it has zero tolerance for abuse and sexual abuse at the Tacoma facility.
You know, I give a lot of credit to Luke. You know, he's made some adjustments here, and I know he's been working his tail off down there in the cages. And you know, tonight I think we saw the fruits of that. Got a great pitch to hit and put a really good swing on it. And you know, that's because of his work ethic, because how hard he works, how much he cares.
Just trying to be consistent at the plate, consistent in the field. I think that's the biggest thing.
Let's go to the Met Gala. It's a little bit of fun here. Russell and Sierra showing off. Don't you think that Russ wishes he was a model in his another life?
Looks like Sylvie and Sally to me right there. I mean, look at that outfit. Are you kidding me? I don't think you and I could get away with wearing that to work.
No.
Look at Russ. I think I need to start wearing more bling. Maybe, you know, he's got like 9 necklaces on there?
He's got to play the part, man. I mean, Sierra's there. He's got to look the part, and he did.
Travelers will soon be able to fly non-stop to Spain for the first time ever. Delta Airlines will launch its Seattle to Barcelona flight on Thursday. It will run 3 times a week. The airline is rolling out non-stop flights to Rome tomorrow. Last week, Alaska Airlines launched its own non-stop flight to Rome. SEA now hosts non-stop flights to 37 international destinations.
The teenager escaped and was taken to Seattle Children's Hospital to be treated and evaluated for this serious incident. This is just about where police say she was lured away from at 9 in the morning. There are a lot of apartments here, and the shopping center and the light rail station are a short walk away. And directly to my right is the wooded area where police say she was taken to. Witnesses called 911, and when officers arrived, they found the victim with what appeared to be a few minor injuries. Firefighters treated her at the scene. The suspect ran but was arrested about 2 miles away, just past the University of Washington Medical Center. He was booked into jail for investigation of rape and kidnapping. This comes as violent crime in Northgate is trending down about 9% this year so far. Through April, there were 82 violent incidents. And citywide, the picture is nearly flat. Seattle as a whole has seen just a 1% decrease in violent crime. The Seattle Police Department says that this suspect has a criminal history with multiple outstanding warrants from Snohomish County and Puyallup Municipal Court. He's expected to be arraigned as early as this afternoon. In Seattle, I'm Christian Balderas, King 5 News.
Yeah, 33-year-old George Miller was brought here from about a half-mile away where the attack allegedly happened. And we spoke to his mother yesterday, who said George had been intubated and he's suffering from multiple severe head wounds. She said he had been so badly beaten with a hammer that his face was unrecognizable. We do want to warn you that seeing photos of his injuries may be difficult. Now, his mom, Lisa Driscoll, shared these photos of her son, of what he looked like before and after the incident, an incident that she described as someone being out hunting to attack someone else. Seattle police say it happened at about midnight Monday near 5th and Madison, steps from the Renaissance Hotel. At first, it was reported as a man who had fallen and hit his head, but officers quickly reviewed nearby surveillance footage and saw the suspect go up to George Miller unprovoked, struck him in the head with an object, knocking him to the ground, striking him several more times before then leaving the area. George's mother wants that person caught as soon as possible.
I would love this person to be caught so that it doesn't happen again. It was an evil, brutal, unprovoked, horrific attack. And if he did that out of the blue, like what else has he done and what could he do in the future?
Now, Lisa Driscoll said her son already faced many challenges as he's battling a fentanyl addiction. She hopes he can recover from this attack and get a second chance. Now, I want to note that Seattle police reviewed surveillance footage, but we have not yet seen it, and we haven't seen any details on a suspect description, but we'll keep you updated on that. And as we get more information from George's family here on his condition, we'll share that with you as well. In Seattle, Farah Jadrin, King 5 News.
The Washington Supreme Court is blocking an effort to let voters weigh in on the state's new so-called millionaires tax. The law, which doesn't go into effect until 2028, will tax households an extra 10% on earnings over $1 million a year. Opponents argue it violates the state constitution. In an order filed yesterday, the justices rejected a petition from the group Let's Go Washington to allow a public referendum. The group says it disagrees with the decision and argues the court is leaning on precedent to block voters from having a say. The court is expected to have a broader constitutional challenge later this year.
Captain, he's passed out behind the wheel. He is passed out behind the wheel.
In Pierce County, a 21-year-old man is facing DUI charges after he crashed his boat near the Stillicum ferry dock on Friday. You can see in this video the boat was speeding across the water with what appears to be an unconscious man at the controls. The boat nearly hit 2 ferries before right there crashing into a rock embankment. Deputies say they found multiple bottles on the boat and the boater smelled of alcohol.
Cookware, spices, protein powders, even faucets. Recent headlines about lead showing up in everyday products may have you wondering what in your home could be a concern.
A lot of people are concerned about lead in their home, vintage dishes or vintage toys.
Safety experts with Consumer Reports noticed more people filing complaints with the Consumer Product Safety Commission after home test kits flagged toys and other household items for possible lead. That raised a big question. How accurate are these kits? Consumer Reports put 11 of the most popular DIY lead kits to the test.
Pretty much all of the test kits did very well in clearly detecting high levels of lead, lower levels that could still be potentially harmful. The test kits didn't do as well.
In some cases, the kits failed to detect lead in a toy known to contain it.
That shows us that if you get a negative test kit result, you might still potentially have a problem.
So what can parents do then to reduce their kids' lead exposure? A good place to start is to avoid vintage toys, cribs, and painted furniture. Newer toys are generally safer thanks to stricter regulations enacted after 2008. If you're concerned about something in your home, Consumer Reports says the safest option is to send it to a certified lab to have it professionally tested or simply keep it away from kids. Mimi Jung, King 5 News.
Well, if you've had an electric vehicle or hybrid for any length of time, you probably know their range can be really affected by the temperature, especially the cold. And while Western Washington is fairly mild climate, it's still not ideal. AAA set out to figure out exactly how much temperature impacts battery efficiency. It looked at both pure EVs and hybrids. It found that at 20 degrees, range is cut by 39% in EVs. Hybrids lose 23% of fuel efficiency. But it also happens when it's hot, just not to the same degree, if you will. So at 95, the range is reduced 8.5% for EVs, 12% for hybrids. The research found that the most ideal temperature for both EVs and hybrids is between 65 and 75 degrees. And in case you're curious, those are the states of Florida, Central and Southern California, and a handful of states in the South.
Congratulations to the #1 ranked Western Washington men's rugby team. The Vikings won the Division I AA National Championship Sunday, beating Iowa State 19-13 in the title match. The Vikings rugby program has a long history dating back 70 years. This was their first trip to the final, and they cashed in. Congrats again to head coach Adam Roberts and director of rugby Paul Horn. The Vikings celebrating a well-deserved national championship.
Humanity is really struggling when it comes to addiction. There's real humans behind this pain and struggle of addiction.
How did you find these subjects, though? Because these are incredible stories that you're talking about.
The first moment was I was at a concert and the artist sang a song dedicated to the person who was right behind me, celebrating his recovery from alcoholism.
Wow.
So I turned to him and I said, hey, I was planning on doing a movie about this. Will you be in this? And he said yes, and so the rest is history. That's the purpose, and I was lucky enough to meet somebody who's overcome alcoholism. He was at his lowest, and through the strength and grace of others, he found the will to do better, and that it's worth it. And you see the joy of the individuals in the film that they experience once they overcame their demons. And so putting this in films and then taking this conversation out of the shadows and into crowded theaters is really healing for me. And I think it's healing for a lot of people who are going through the same thing.
Definitely. You just had your world premiere, which is so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please tell us about what's coming up here May 6th in Seattle.
Yeah, so we're bringing it to the Admiral Theater in West Seattle May 6th. And it's not just a movie screening. We want a night of hope, a night of healing, and a night of community connection. When I tell people I made this movie, everybody's like, why would a professor make a movie about addiction? And then I tell them, and they all tell their story. Like, so many people have the same story. It just makes you feel connected and makes you feel like there's hope that you can do this. And it builds empathy with me, and I think it'll build empathy with the audiences who see the movie.
In the scam, the thieves talked Barb into selling her stocks, so her tax return looks like she cashed in big time. The consequences were swift and dramatic. First, the IRS, thinking she made a ton of money, came after her.
So then I'm faced with having to pay $54,000 worth of taxes on money that had been stolen.
She fought back and eventually was able to classify it as a loss. But the Social Security Administration did not get that memo, and now with this letter, she's again having to push back. She says Social Security looked at just one line of her tax returns, earned income.
But when you look at my full taxes, it was a total loss in 2024.
Instead of the standard $202 Medicare premium, now she must pay $446, plus another $83 for prescriptions. That's an 89% increase, nearly $4,000 more a year. She says it's not just financially painful, it's re-traumatizing.
You know, this is real trauma. It's a very, very long pathway to healing.
When Barb went in person to a Social Security office to try to explain her situation, she was turned away.
Vetting the viral again. Alexis, you found this one.
Yes, rotisserie chicken is all you need to start. You just shred it all up, put it right back in the bag with all the juices and the oil. You put rice in the bag. You have green onions. We have chili oil, chili crisp. We have soy sauce and sesame oil. Shake it all up, shake it, and then that's dinner.
Ta-da!
Your dinner's served.
Dinner.
Then you top it with the skin of the chicken. You need to put that in the air fryer at 350 for 5 minutes. It's delicious.
This is
Lunch
actually
served.
an amazing meal prep hack for the entire week and little to no mess.
And it's pretty healthy.
Hey, I'll take that.
We are in search of this. Yep. Yeah. Today, the Devil Wears Prada 2 opens, and we've got to get the Prada handbag, the popcorn handbag.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
We gotta have it.
Let's go.
A million girls would kill for this job.
Heard that. As we were pulling up, we saw a couple people with handfuls of these bags stuffing them into their trunk.
And look, they told us if we were here at 12:30,
Which we are.
there would be plenty.
Okay,
so I'm gonna go in now and see what's
hurry.
up.
All right, everyone, gird your loins.
This is the last one, right here. You get a blanket.
I didn't know about that.
And then look, here's our designer popcorn handbag.
Wow.
Wow, sold out in minutes.
How much was it again?
$88.
For $88, we're getting all the butter.
And it is cute.
It is really, really cute.
Little hang tag, stiletto.
Yeah. The bad news is it cost a whole lot more than what we were expecting.
Absolutely. So we had to buy tickets for the movie.
You could not get a purse without, and if you wanted to get more than one purse, you had to get multiple movie tickets.
So every purse cost a movie ticket.
Yeah.
And then
you couldn't just buy the purse. You had to buy the popcorn,
the blanket,
and the pop, and the whole thing together. $80. Yeah, and I think the tickets were like 15 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is pricey.
Yeah, but
it's so cute.
You're gonna treasure that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cute, but I don't know if it was that much, worth that much.
No, but don't you feel a little bit like Miranda Priestley right now?
Does she eat popcorn?
She should.
That's all.
An Everson man could be facing charges for illegally trafficking 16 newts into the Whatcom County area. Wildlife officials say those animals could be carrying a potentially transmissible disease. State law prohibits the Anatolia newt and marbled newt from being possessed, introduced, or trafficked without authorization in Washington state. They are a Level 3 invasive species. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Aquatic Invasive Species Division says, quote, if introduced to the wild, These could have caused severe ecological damage and triggered costly long-term management efforts. This case underscores the importance of early detection and rapid response.
A judge sentences Brandon Gerner to 84 years in prison. That's the update in the case of a double homicide that happened in Maple Valley in November of 2023. The victims in that case, Robert Riley and Ashley Williams. Now, what investigators say is that Gerner and two others went onto a property in Maple Valley where Riley and Williams were and killed them both. This went to a jury, and after a jury went through the entire trial, they did find Gerner guilty. And today, when he was sentenced, he stood before the judge and said that prosecutors and the jury got it wrong. He maintains his innocence. He says he does plan to appeal, but right now, the sentence he is facing is 84 years.
$350,000 stolen from Tenacious Ventures, and the company says instead of waiting, they went and found it. The Seattle production studio says it was hit 3 times, then started seeing its stolen gear show up for sale online. So they tracked it, followed it, and found some of it. They say they've recovered about $20,000 so far. The owner's now calling on police and city leaders to step in with a meeting planned this Friday to try to stop it from happening again.